How we doing?
Dude, I'm doing all right. Dude, I'm here in beautiful California. The weather is unbelievable, so I can't complain too much.
I was gonna
How about
ask
you?
where you've been.
Yeah, no, I was in Sacramento. Now I'm in San Francisco for the next couple days.
Nice. Sacramento. God, what a shithole.
Yeah, well, I was more so like north of Sacramento, getting away from there. But
Gotcha. Dude, have you ever wondered like why of all the places in California, Sacramento to be the capital? What's that about?
well, if you
Like
think about it,
I
it's
get
where a lot of the
colonials.
capitals are. It's where
I
a
know
lot of
like just change it. Just change it. Nobody wants to
yeah,
go to
dude, there's nothing going
Sacramento.
on in Sacramento. There's no need to be in Sacramento.
No, I will say I've been to California a couple times, and I stopped through Sacramento once on my way to where was I going? Oh, I was going from Reno, Nevada, across to the Bay, and stopped over near Sacramento. Nice little brewery there, Sudwork. Cool logo, good beer. I just turned 21, so any beer was good. But yeah, other than that, shithole, get it out.
But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff like around Sacramento, but Sacramento itself sucks. And then, I mean, I'm in San Francisco, but I stay like more towards Silicon Valley. Like I don't go anywhere near that city. That city's even worse than Sacramento. So San Francisco is disgusting. Just fuck that place.
What are you just there for work?
Yeah, just a couple work meetings. Nothing too crazy.
I am right now. I've been all over the great state of South Carolina today. Before getting back here, I had to go to Rock Hill, the Thrill, then had to stop over to Sparkle City, Spartanburg. Spartanburg's a cool place. A lot of people in the upstate say Spartanburg's going to be the biggest city in South Carolina in the next 5 years.
I mean, okay. Trust me, I'm just going to put it this way. You're not having me vacation to Spartanburg anytime soon.
Oh, God, no. God, no. But, dude, South Carolina, underrated basketball state. Underrated. You got Ray Allen, you got KG, you got Ja, you got Zion. I know I'm missing somebody. Ray Allen actually just moved back. I had lunch with his realtor.
Nice.
Accidentally. He was like, we're talking to him about some other business. He goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, are you a basketball fan?" And I was like, "Yeah, you might not know this, but my Pacers are in the ECF." And he goes, "Oh, nice. Yeah, I just sold Ray Allen a home in Spartanburg." I said, "Why? Why is he in Spartanburg?"
Yeah, didn't see that one on my bingo card anywhere.
No,
that's a little surprise.
Definitely not. How long are you gonna be out in California? Sorry, I missed that.
Leave tomorrow like night, so I got rest of today.
Very nice.
Chilling. Then I got like 3 meetings tomorrow morning, so I will be driving all over the Bay Area tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy.
What kind of car did you get?
Dude, some BS like Nissan Sonata. Nothing fun this trip. No fun cars.
Jeez, that's brutal. Especially with good weather, you couldn't get yourself a convertible.
Yeah, no convertible this time. Well, of course, the Sacramento airport doesn't have any good cars. Like, let's be realistic.
True, it's true.
But the good news is, we're in prime wine country, so I've been enjoying some nice wines while I'm out here. I wanted to do a day in Napa and just take a day off work, but I couldn't. So
I feel you. How far is Napa?
It'd be like from where I was, I could have gotten there in like 45 to an hour, probably. Yeah, like I easily could have done it. But all the good wines are still around here, and that brings me over to something I got to talk to you about.
Let's hear it.
So I know you're not on TikTok.
No.
But there's these guys, and they're called the Vino Bros. Just whatever. And it has to be a bit at this point. But basically what they do is there's 2 of them. And one of them just tries a bottle of wine without knowing what it is. And he's supposed to be this sommelier or whatever. And knows all about
wine. I've seen these guys like 4 weeks later on the ground. Yes.
So they try it. And it's like they're 0 for 700. They haven't hit one yet. They're just completely wrong every time. And like, it has to be a bit. Like, I need to know if it's a bit or they're really just wrong. But like, it's getting to the point where it's just comical how wrong they are.
Hey, let's get them on. Let's get them on. Vino Bros, reach out to us at Nobody Asked Show on Twitter.
Like, I need to know. Like, I really hope it's a bit. Otherwise, I'm like, but like, they're so good at like riling you up, like getting into like, oh, you can taste the earth notes in this one. This real deep red. I'm like I like wine as much as the next guy, but what you're saying makes me feel like you know what you're talking about, and then you just usually miss the hemisphere that the wine's from. It's just unbelievable. So I just had to comment on that.
It makes me think back in, gosh, I think it was after I'd graduated South Carolina. I was still living in Columbia, working at Raycom. My then roommate had taken a wine elective class. He was an engineering major. He's now a sommelier, so it worked out for him. But their homework was to bring a bottle of wine home and then do the tasting notes, bring it back. And so he'd come home from class. I'd be just getting off of work, and he'd be like, "Yo, you want to do my wine tasting homework with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm 22. I'm like, "Yeah, free wine, whatever." And I just remember him always being like, "Do you taste that deep earthiness?" And I said, "No, Jake, I taste red wine." He goes, "Well, what can you tell from this?" And I look at it and do the little douchey swish. I'm like, "It's red." But like, I no clue. No, the earthy afterbirth, whatever the joke is. Yeah, maybe I should have been a vino bro in a past life.
I mean, here's the thing on wine. I'll tell you if it tastes good or bad. And
Yeah.
I can tell you, hey, it's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit more acidic, maybe. And that's the extent of my wine knowledge. I do appreciate a good wine, and I can tell a good wine, but like, I couldn't tell you anything about it or why it's good. No idea.
I'm a wine club owner too, and I don't know shit. I just got drunk in New Zealand, and the guy saw me. He was like, "You want to join a wine club for $1,000 a year?" I said, "Sure, I do." So now I get 6 bottles of wine each quarter. So I have so much white wine it'd make you sick. But yeah. Right now I had a couple things to clean up from last show because I just did not do proper research. But right now I'm watching the Europa League final. Tottenham versus Man United. The winner gets an automatic qualifier to the Champions League next year, the biggest tournament in Europe. This is a final, supposed to be the second biggest European Cup final, and it's being played by the 16th and 17th best team in the Premier League. It proves to be the worst Champions League qualifier in the history of the Champions League tournament. And I am loving Twitter right now. It is a playground of people accurately talking shit about both these teams, and both these teams just doing my favorite British soccer insult, cry. That's all they say. And when a Brit tells someone else, another Brit, to cry about soccer, holy shit, that's their version of racism. I swear to God, it makes this place explode, and it is so funny. It's like that old Dane Cook bit where he's like, once somebody says, "Fuck you," the battle's over. You could call someone's mom like throat goat, and they'll just be like, "Cry," and the battle's over. You've lost, according to British Twitter, and it's fucking hilarious. But this is, people in my soccer group chat aren't even going off about this because it's such a low quality, low class game between two teams that couldn't be farther off of it. It's hilarious. Right now, Tottenham's winning. They haven't won a trophy since I think 2011. And they're supposed to be one of the big 6 clubs in England. It's a terrible game, horrible game, but I'm excited for the aftermath.
I'm so glad I'm not British. I just want to put that out there.
I hear that.
Like if that's what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
If you could be Scottish, because they're technically British. Scots are cool. The Scots are cool.
I'm Irish, so I'm just gonna stick with that.
Fair enough. But if we could, while we're at it, just a little quick roundup on soccer, because we're just touching on it. This has been probably the worst soccer season as a whole. Out of the top 5 European leagues, only one. Everyone's last game week is this coming Saturday, Sunday. Most of the top divisions play 38 games. You play each team home and away. And out of English, French, German, Italian, and Spanish, only one title race is still up for debate. All the other ones have already been won, proving to be the least drama, I think, in my history of watching soccer, even down to the Champions League final is between the second team in Italy and a French team that, frankly, nobody really gives a shit about. Sorry, Parisians. But just a horrible, horrible game. The only good piece is the championship playoff is, I think, this Saturday, Sheffield United versus Sunderland. Winner goes to the Premier League in the richest game of football. So that'll be really exciting. Other than that, that was Talking Soccer to rip off another podcast. But that's kind of everything. Soccer's been pretty boring this year.
So what I got from that is a great year to not be a soccer fan. So
yeah. Another win for Evan.
Yep.
Although
I'll take it what I can get.
The guy who scored for Tottenham's name is Brendan Johnson. Guess who his girlfriend is? New girlfriend.
I don't know, man. That seems like a lot of options here, man.
Bonnie Blue.
No, no.
And the meme going around is Tottenham player Brennan Johnson is newly dating Bonnie Blue. How low must you have fallen that you're dating a Tottenham football player?
Oh, that's good. I like that a lot. That's
So
tasty.
yeah, very good, very good. But yeah, that's that was soccer. I got a lot of things we can jump into today, but I don't know what you wanted to start with. I'll kick it to you first.
I mean that was now Bonnie Blue's on my mind. I'm trying to get that image out of my head, so got me a little distracted.
It was either Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips, but to me they're the same person.
Yeah, whatever that's gonna be. Well, I'll let you pick it up. I'm a little baffled right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll start easy. Something we were talking about yesterday. This is a recommendation from you. I'm notoriously bad at starting shows. But Sunday I took the leap. There was no sports on for a couple of days. With my Pacers have been in the Eastern Conference Finals for like a week and a half now. We finally play our first game tonight. I can't wait to end the city of New York, that fucking scumhole. But I started Paradise on Sunday. 4 episodes in. What a show. What a show. I'm getting, this is way too early, but based on the last episode I saw, I'm getting some Game of Thrones vibes where they really draw you into a character and then they're dead. Keeps you guessing. I've wanted to quit watching it a couple times because they kill somebody that I really just started liking. Obviously I won't do that. But what a show. What a cool concept. A very good recommendation. And I'm excited to see, how the last 4 episodes of this season kind of go. But yeah, great watch so far.
Yeah, so that's a show. That's a reputation show for me. I'll put my reputation on the line on that recommendation. I don't do that often, but that one, I loved it. Now, so the next 2 episodes are a little 5 and 6 are like
Yeah.
Episode 7 is one of the best episodes I've ever seen in my life. The penultimate episode is unbelievable. But yeah, it is a little bit like Game of Thrones in that sense. Like you never know what's going to happen. I wouldn't say it just there isn't as much development, and it's a Hulu show. But you're in for a treat for the end of this show. You're in for a treat. That's all I'll kind of say. I don't want to give anything too much away.
And I'm excited because it's a lot of actors and actresses that you're not like. I don't look at it and be like, oh, you're so and so from that other show. It's people that I recognize, kind of, but for the most part, it's not riddled with a bunch of like stars from other shows that it's hard. Like, if you see somebody and you're like, well, you're so and so from the other show that I used to watch, and it's hard to disassociate them. Also, The Therapist is, God, she's a smoke show. Torradella, Gabriella.
Oh,
yeah. I'll keep watching that.
I kind of have a thing for Sinatra. I think Sinatra. I don't know. Sinatra kind of does it for me a little bit, man.
It's hard to place because sometimes yes and sometimes no, and I have no reason why. But yeah, I could see that. I love
powerful women. I don't know, but
yeah, powerful and scary women. I love in shows like that where they do flashbacks a lot, where their main way to make someone look older is just give them longer hair, or guys give them a beard. That's the only thing they change is just give them longer hair or like a mustache, facial hair of some sort. I always think that's funny with the technology we have today to make Robert De Niro look younger in The Irishman, but we just give people longer hair now. That always cracks me up. Yeah, go ahead.
On that note, characters, that you fall in love with. Well, spoiler alert. Billy dying. I found in general, you were telling me that yesterday. I think characters named Billy, not Bill, William, that are named Billy and go with Billy, tend to be good characters in just about any show you're watching.
Okay, give me an example besides this Billy and Billy from Entourage. Or is it just those two?
There's Billy in this is actually the first one I thought of. Billy in Jurassic Park 3.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to equate myself with that film.
It might be a very niche example. Yeah. Maybe the name comes up very nichely. I don't know.
Billy Bob Thornton is good in most of his roles.
That's true. Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid's always, that's a good character right there. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I got you.
But yeah, no, I'm very happy you finally started watching it. Are you watching it with Kristen?
Yeah, so she's seen it. She binged. I was at the beach this weekend with my high school buddies, and she binged it on Saturday or Sunday and texted me about it. And I said, "You bitch. I told you about that show, and then you just watched it without me."
That's not on her. That's on you.
I'm not a show binger, so I'm glad that she's watched it so I can watch it at my own pace. Because like I'm not going to watch an episode tonight. The Pacers are on. So yeah, I'll probably finish the season by this time next week. But yeah, if the Pacers are on, I'm definitely not going to be tuning in. So I'll either be pumped up or I'll be dismayed.
That's fair.
Yeah, but very good show. Very good show. I'm big fan of it.
Oh, so that gives me a good transition, nice basketball transition here, and a little bit away from the Pacers before we can kind of jump into that. But I brought this up to you earlier, and I was kind of thinking about it over the weekend. You know how we always see those videos of, stories about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, kind of being psychopaths. Like, we said this to the media, or someone said this, and they just went crazy. You always hear these stories. Now, I think LeBron's a different type of player than that. He doesn't quite need to go to that level. He's just kind of always there. Do you think once LeBron retires or moves on, we're going to start hearing similar stories about him, like those kinds of ones?
It's a good thought. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of it now, like him yelling at Wendy recently or in this past year. I think that LeBron's different than those because LeBron's whole life has been in the social media era where everything he's done is calculated. Say what you want, whether you think LeBron is the best, the worst, annoying, not annoying, whatever you think about him, he is incredibly smart in how calculated he has been for 20 plus years. I do think that there's some stuff that'll come out, like the Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, who else was the other guy? Mike Miller. They all kind of corroborated this cookie story. Have you heard the cookie story?
No, I haven't. Or maybe I have, but let me hear it.
There's a story, I think.
Oh, yes.
Where somebody took his cookies on
he's gone.
and that's when he was like, I think we will see some of it, but I think rather than him just being a psychopath like a Kobe or a Bird or a Jordan, I think it's gonna come out more and more that he's weird. He's just a weirdo, which is fine, but like, I think it's hilarious that the man loves his sweets and that's what put him over the edge in Miami. But I think he's just been so calculated and he's grown up in this social media age where everything has to be so, you have to be so on top of everything you say because there's always a camera that I don't think there's anything closed doors that's going to come out after he retires because his whole career, even into high school, has been on camera. So like in a way that like for a lot of people, especially our generation, the first time I saw Jordan like play was during COVID with The Last Dance because you just couldn't find Jordan stuff without you could YouTube Jordan highlights, but the first time really getting a look into Jordan was that. Same with Larry Bird. I mean, you see some of it in like documentaries post fact. Kobe, you saw some of it, but a lot of times it's through newer documentaries. So I think what we've seen too much of LeBron already to have something crazy come out after he retires. It's like, holy shit, that guy's like, we know he's crazy. We know he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just an element of him being in the social media era so much.
No, I get what you're saying too, and I think I kind of like what you're saying. Where it's like it's just gonna come out that he's weird. Because I think he just doesn't have that he's weird. Like I think to be that level of good, all the greats have, you have to be some level of weird, just like a different human being. Like you see it everywhere, and his will just be like a different type of weird than the other three that I mentioned. But I like that. Interesting.
I always go back to an interview Chris Bosh did a number of years ago, where I think it was on Pardon My Take, but they essentially asked, when did you know LeBron was special or what's LeBron? How has he still been this good? And Chris Bosh goes, we all got to the Heat at 26 and we would go out after games or after practice for drinks and LeBron would be stretching. And I don't know why that's always stuck with me. Like from 26, which was already 8 years into his career, he was so focused on just recovery. And like, it's weird stuff like that, where it's just like, oh, LeBron he has thought about his career as a whole before he even turned 30 in ways that other guys don't. So I do think there's going to be some other stories, but it's going to be craziness in regards to like his training regimen and like how he took care of his body. I think the stat was he spends like millions of dollars on his body each year for recovery stuff. So I think that's what we'll see more than like, oh, he was a psychopath. He was punching ball boys for not rebounding well enough or something like that.
Speaking of psychopaths, Angel Reese losing her mind again, just trying to keep
Yes,
herself relevant against Caitlin Clark. I mean,
dude.
you can just tell, like, you watch the highlight, like, it is what it is. Caitlin Clark is just so much better than her. It just shouldn't be a
They're not on the
rivalry.
same stratosphere. If she doesn't get that championship with a good LSU team over a bad Iowa team, this is never a thing.
Yeah.
Like if that final had been South Carolina versus LSU like it should have been, this is not a thing. What kills me is you can't have a conversation about this without being racist on one side or the other. And it's just like, I mean, just think about the discourse that's going to happen after Paige Beckers, which is going to happen sooner than people want to talk about. When Paige Beckers ascends to where she's going to be, and it's a Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark game, then what's it going to be? I mean, the people that are propping Angel Reese up, listen, she's a good basketball player. She's in the WNBA. She wouldn't be if she's not a good basketball player. But she's closer to the last person on the bench than she is to Caitlin Clark. And that's just a fact. I mean, Caitlin Clark has one 20-10 games shy of the all-time record in the WNBA, and she has played 41 games. The person she's chasing played 400. She's already passed Diana Taurasi, who's walking into the Hall of Fame. And we're supposed to pretend like she's not everything she's been billed to be. It's WNBA Twitter is up there with like Premier League Twitter as far as the most toxic places there is.
Yeah. People just don't get it. I mean, it's nonsense to me. Caitlin Clark is already going to put herself in the who's done the most for women's basketball. She's arguably already done the most for women's basketball. Like, she get into that conversation. And if she keeps at this pace within the next 3 or 4 years, she's the greatest of all time conversation pretty quickly.
Yeah. And
Angel Reese is nowhere near there.
What kills me is this all started over a foul. It was a foul. Sure. It was a foul. But it's as common of a foul as there's ever been.
Yeah.
Angel Reese punched her in the head last year. Like, what are we talking about?
And you can tell too, like, as Caitlin Clark walked away from it and just knew it was bullshit. She's like, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
She's like she knew she was gonna react like that. I'm just like, I'm over this. Like, let's just move on.
Yeah, and they're putting this rivalry on us. And I don't blame TV for putting it on us. It's great for ratings. People are tuning in to those games. But it's just like, not that I'm going to watch the W, but it's making it unbearable to even pay attention to. And then with every other thing I could watch, or especially when it gets nice outside and I could just go outside and hang out, like, I'm not going to watch this. It's not worth nobody can have an educated conversation about it. It's just like, you're racist because you're on this side, or you're racist because you're on that side. I mean,
yeah, exactly. You said the best. It's just a waste of my time. Like, I'm gonna get angry listening to it or watching. It's like someone's gonna say something stupid. I'm like, okay, that ruined my day. Like, I'm upset about that. Why am I listening to this?
Right. And it's like, I love it. I love a good faith argument. If you think Angel Reese is better and you really think it, and you can tell me that without calling me racist for disagreeing with you, I'm in for that conversation. But we've become attuned to the safe word of, when you disagree, is that person's racist. And it's just like, this isn't fun anymore. This isn't an entertaining conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah. But good for the WNBA. I mean, they're getting people to watch. So that's good for them.
Yeah. We'll see. Also, I'll be interested to see if they can keep up the pace. I mean,
yeah.
I'll be interested, once WNBA can find a way to become profitable. That'd be cool.
I think they will be. I think they will get there. I think, like, Kristen, my girlfriend, she doesn't know anything about basketball, but she loves Paige Beckers. All the girls love Paige Beckers now. They think she's cool. She's fun. I do think that they're going to capitalize on, especially in the TikTok generation that we've moved into. They're going to capitalize more so, I think, than the NBA, on people that aren't fans of basketball but are just fans of other female athletes doing awesome things. I do think they're gonna hit profitability here very shortly. It'll just be, can they sustain it in a way that's not like, can they sustain it on the basketball court, not on the internet?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, for sure. And here's the thing I'll be interested in. Like, I don't really enjoy watching WNBA. It's just not for me. That is what it is. But I might go to a Dallas Wings game or whatever they're called. I'm interested to see what it's like in person.
Yeah.
Will it leave after the first quarter? I mean, there's definitely the chance of that. Like that's,
Yeah.
but Paige Beckers is there. Maybe we'll see something cool. Maybe it'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't.
Will I watch a quarter here and there if it's on? Sure. Will I watch a game 7 in the finals? Absolutely. I'd watch the whole game. But especially if like the Fever are in it or the Aces are in it, because I'm from Indiana, so like I'll ascribe to the Fever. I ascribed to the Fever before Caitlin Clark, but that's more because Aaliyah Boston got drafted there. And then the Aces, I think the best player is still Asia Wilson. I had classes with her at school. She's a beast. So I'll tune into some of her games every once in a while too, but it's just not for me. There's the summer is when I can take a break from sports, not when I want to tune into a new sport and follow new things. So,
For sure.
and I've got to pontificate on training camp rumors. So, I just don't have the bandwidth.
Fair enough. I respect that.
But that's a good, you said keep pace. It's a good transition to, the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, I think. I think we should knock out some predictions, but I had last night. I had the Timberwolves first half spread. The only reason I had it is because the underdogs have been winning these playoffs, and so I was like, I'm only going to stay up for the first half. Might as well throw in a little action. And man, am I glad I didn't have full game because that got away from them quickly in the third quarter.
Yeah, I want to say the Thunder went on a 10-0 run pretty quickly into the third quarter.
Yeah, I think it was 32-18 was the final in the third quarter from the scoring. I mean, you're just not going to win games against a defensively sound team like that when you get outscored by, what was that, 14 points? Yeah, 14 points. It's not going to work. And the Thunder 1 through like 8, they're not all obviously even. Like I think the Pacers, they're 1 through 8. They all are roughly the same. Like Siakam and Halliburton are obviously the two best players, but from a scoring standpoint, they're all roughly similar. From a defensive standpoint, outside of Aaron Wiggins, the Thunder are all just so good on defense. And if you're not hitting your threes, you don't really have a chance unless you have a Jokic who can dominate in the middle against anybody. And Rudy Gobert offensively is just not that guy. Julius Randle offensively down low against that kind of defense is not that guy. And I think you saw it yesterday. They didn't hit their threes, and that's their chance. That's their hope of winning those games.
Yeah. No, and I don't know. I think the Timberwolves have a very tough series ahead of them.
Yeah. If I was to call it, I would say Thunder in 6. If the Timberwolves can steal one in OKC in game 2, I could upgrade that to Thunder in 7, but I think we'd probably see I think we'd probably see it going back to OKC like 3-1, or even if it's 2-2, I think OKC still takes us in 6. I think they're too good, they're too deep, and they play too good a defense.
I think it's a gentleman's sweep. I think I think SGA also just won the MVP that was announced. I want to say like an hour ago, maybe
it was. Yeah, it was right before we jumped in.
And I just don't think I just think they match up better than they did against the Nuggets. And I just don't think the Timberwolves are going to be able to do anything to surmount it. I think they're going to win. I think the Timberwolves win game 4, and then they lose game 5. That's how I think it goes down.
Yeah. Switching gears, what do you think about this Eastern Conference Finals? New York's been talking a lot of shit. I think from an old rivalry standpoint, this has something for people in every generation. You've got people that remember the 90s. You've got the 2000s, a little bit of where Reggie Miller is still kind of dominating the Knicks, and now you have this new iteration where the Pacers took them out of the playoffs in 7 last year in the Mecca. Knicks fans love to talk about the injuries, refuse to acknowledge that Jason Tatum tore his Achilles against them when they're talking about injuries. But I think there's legitimate bad blood. I do think the Pacers have bad blood with everybody in the East, which I love. They make me nervous. Madison Square Gardens makes me nervous. And I think this is going to be a really entertaining series with a lot of hate.
So I think, to your point, I think there's a lot going on in this series. I think the Knicks have played a lot better than I ever thought they would against the Celtics, even without, even before Jason Tatum went down. They were just playing much better in the series than I thought they would, which really surprised me. They didn't lay as much of an egg as I thought, especially in the closeout game. So they're a little bit more intimidating going into this than I thought they would be. I never thought we'd be here with this series. But again, I also think the Pacers are a really good team, top to bottom. It's how much do the Knicks have left in the tank? I think the Knicks are a lot more tired going into this series than the Pacers are, just in general. And like you said earlier, the Knicks don't run a very deep bench at all. Have dealt with some injuries. The Pacers do. So, yeah. But I also think, Jalen Brunson has the possibility to take over this series again. I think he could just go nuclear again, and that's a big issue to worry about. So I'm very interested to see how the series starts. I do think the Pacers get it in 6. That's my prediction. The Pacers win in 6.
That's where I'd be too. I think the Pacers are going to steal 1 in MSG in the first 2 and then close it out at home in 6. I think the big matchups to watch in this one are going to be how well can Nesmith guard Brunson, especially when Brunson starts foul baiting. And I don't think foul baiting's been thrown around a lot. I don't think he foul baits the way that like a Harden did or even like an SGA does. I think Brunson's a lot more in control, but I do think he does have an element of foul baiting. He's a little smaller, and smaller guys in the paint get more calls. And Nesmith is an aggressive defender. So I think that's a matchup to absolutely watch. And then Miles Turner versus Cat down low, specifically in the rebounding battle. The Pacers didn't dominate the boards against the Cavs, but the Cavs are one of the top rebounding teams in the league, and the Pacers are one of the worst. And it was about a net even. So I think that's going to tell us a lot about what happens in this series. To your point, though, Tibbs is notorious for playing his guys too many minutes, and it was put on display when he subs OG back in that last game up like 35 for no reason. With all those games and all those minutes on a short bench versus the Pacers who like to run, their oldest player is 32, and he's in great shape, and they play 10 deep each game. Will the Knicks be able to continue running with them, not sustain injuries? And on paper, the Knicks are a better team. I agree with that. They've got more star power. Cat is really good. He's played really, really well. Jalen Brunson's the best player in this series. But I think when it comes to a playoff game like this, can the Pacers just outrun them and kind of run them into the ground and have fresher legs? I think that's going to be a huge key for us. I agree, though, Pacers in 6. I would love nothing more than to shut up Knicks fans on Twitter. They are the scum of the earth. They're so fucking annoying, and they've really never won anything. No Knicks fans were alive to see that last one. And if they are, they're lying to you. And if they did see it, they're not on Twitter because it happened 50 years ago.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How tall even is Brunson? 6'4"?
No, I think he's
6'3".
No, I think he's smaller than that, dude. I think he's 6 even. Like, I don't think he's. Let's see.
Dude, that's so short for the NBA, though.
6'2". 6'2".
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
right.
Brunson just plays. I obviously am against him this series, but I love watching Brunson play. He's fun to watch. He leads the team. He seems tailor-made to play in New York. He just loves that pressure. The people love him. He's not dirty like
scrappy.
Yeah, he's dirty, like he gets into the scrums. He loves to get into the shit. He's not dirty like he's going to take out knees. That's not what I mean. But he likes getting down and dirty. He likes backing people up. He's just unbelievable near the rim with the left-handed floater. He's got an absolute killer instinct. I mean, Brunson's incredible. If Halliburton can get into the lane, and I'm assuming they'll probably have Mikal on him, maybe OG. But if Halliburton can get into the lane and find those open kicks to three-point shooters and they're hitting him, I think the Knicks could be in real trouble. We'll see though. I'm pumped for this series. I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm very glad that this is what we have. I would have liked to play the Celtics again, but
no, you didn't. Don't lie to yourself.
No, I really would have, just because I like our chances against the Knicks better. I do think that we wouldn't have gotten swept this year by the Celtics. I think the Pacers team has been mentally building up to rematch the Celtics, so I hope they don't come out flat since the Celtics aren't here. That's kind of more what I mean.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think if we're honest, OKC should win this finals. They should win it pretty comfortably. OKC shouldn't lose more than 4 games the rest of the way out of these next 16 or 14. They shouldn't lose more than 4.
Yeah, 13 left. Yeah.
13 left.
Actually, but yeah, no, I agree. I think this is the Thunder's year to lose. I think they're pretty handily the best team.
Yeah.
So that'll be
This
interesting to see how that plays out.
which team head to head? Obviously, you can't do this. This Thunder's team or that Thunder's team that lost to the Heat in the finals back in like 2011. Who do you think was a better team?
From a talent standpoint, it's definitely the 2011 team.
For sure.
But as a team, it's a tough question. I think
Yeah.
it's more so who plays better as a team, because that 11 team's hands down better. Would that been? Westbrook, Durant, Harden
Off the bench.
Ibaka.
I don't know if it was Ibaka or if it was Big Perk. But then maybe Steve Adams was there. Nick, what was his name? He was always taking fucking charges. Big white guy, Nick something. I agree with you. I think this Thunder team though
I think it's probably a better Thunder team.
They fit together better. They play better defense, and I do think they're better coached. I believe Billy Donovan was the coach of that team, I think, and I think Daganall is a better coach. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, God, that version of Durant was just so unstoppable.
Yeah. Here's the thing with that too. Like, I think Billy Donovan was never just. He was always had that the college coaching mindset where it's like, just give me a bunch of stars and we'll win.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work as well in the NBA. Don't get me wrong, got him to the finals, but you needed a coach that kind of mend them together a little bit.
Right.
And I just don't think you had that. So I agree with the coaching aspect. I think that's huge. And I think, like you said, I think these players just kind of their mindset gels a little bit better together too. Yeah. So I'd probably take this team, but I say that, but I don't think I could pass up having that much talent on one team, the old team.
It's hard to look at a team where beardless Harden's coming off the bench and Durant has just won the scoring title and say that they're not the better team. But yeah, number 35 Durant's still balling. But yeah, I do think this current iteration of the Thunder would beat them in a 7-game series. But it's hard to say because there's no LeBron Wade Heat that they'd be playing. Like that Thunder's team, I think, would have beaten any of these other 3 remaining teams, but they're not running into a LeBron Wade Bosch Heat team. So that'll be the end. Also, Tottenham just won their first trophy since we were in elementary school. Congratulations. Man United is in the absolute piss. Oh my gosh, they are so far down. To lose to Tottenham on a trophy drought of that long. United fans are going to be in the gutter for the next several months with the season about to end. So congrats, Spurs fans. I've got some friends that are Spurs fans. It's got to be abysmal to have not won a trophy in that long with all the competitions that soccer has each year. But congratulations. That's awesome. They'll get run out of the Champions League in quick order next year. But soccer is made for glory, and the game's about it. Congratulations to the Spurs fans.
Maybe United can kind of get themselves out of the gutter by going and banging that striker's girlfriend. So
that's true.
Pound Bonnie Blue, get back at him.
Maybe that's the slump buster. Real quick, we talked a little bit about the NBA draft. I think this is a good spot for it. We talked about that a little bit last week, and I was kind of thinking since that pod, what do you think about the NBA draft just as a concept with the lottery, and where do you kind of put it as far as other drafts go? So like football, it's pretty cut and dry. You draft where you finish. Soccer, there's no draft, so bad teams just don't really have a chance. They have smaller budgets. There's no salary cap. It's a wild, wild west. And then you have like baseball, where if you finish if you finish in the top 5 or top 3 for 3 consecutive years, you're not allowed to draft in the top 3 because they're trying to actively go away from tanking. But as a concept, do you like the NBA draft with the lottery system?
I fucking hate it.
I agree, I think.
NBA, it should be the worst team gets the first overall pick. That just should be how it should be, especially given that it's very rare. Excuse me. I think in most drafts, there's probably at most, and this is, some draft there's 0. There's 3 franchise-changing players. Like this draft, there's 1, in my opinion, really, from an immediate standpoint.
Yeah.
It's Cooper Flag. Like the worst team should just get Cooper Flag. That should be how it is. There shouldn't be any argument about it. Now, I do like the caveat of what the Major League Baseball draft does, where it's like if you suck this many years in a row,
if you keep fucking it up, we're not going to ruin these players' careers by sending them there.
Correct. There needs to be something like that, but but the NBA draft, it should be the first, especially in basketball, where one player can really change a team.
Yeah.
Can really catapult you. Just give the worst team the worst player. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially with what just happened. The Mavericks have, I'm a second team Mavs living in Dallas. I'll go watch some games, so I'm excited Cooper Flag is going to go there. But they have no business getting Cooper Flag after what Nico Harrison just did to that organization. Don't give him more shit to screw up. That's awful. It's stupid. It's awful. I don't know why we keep doing it this way. It just needs to be the worst team gets the pick. It should be that way, and do something like what baseball does.
Or at very least, do the NBA lottery for just the 5 worst teams. So at least if a team's jumping up drastically, it's only from 5, and then everyone else falls in under. Because I agree. I mean, I don't think the worst team has won the lottery in since the 90s, maybe 91. I think has come to my mind. I agree. I've also heard the idea of just getting rid of the draft lot, or getting rid of the draft completely, and basically players just come out of school as free agents. But the worse you are, the more money you can give. So the Wizards and the Hornets, because they would be able to give 4 years, $100 million, just to use easy numbers. Whereas the Mavs, who finished, I think, just outside of in the play-in spots, they would only be able to give 4 years, $70 million, something like that. Where it's you can give more, you have an extra little layer. I don't know how that would work financially. I'm not the numbers guy. I'm just an ideas guy. But I agree. I think the lottery's stupid. It doesn't really make sense. I do like that it eliminates tanking though. It doesn't.
Yeah, but I feel like there's easier ways to eliminate tanking.
I agree.
And on that note too, it's that whatever thing you decide, that just sounds so confusing to me. I'm already so confused on the Supermax contracts. I just want straightforward. I don't understand how people are getting paid so much. It's here we do all the hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
Being a GM or an agent nowadays and having to figure out some of this stuff, and keeping up with it has to be. I guess that's why they make a lot of money. But man, there's so much stuff revolving around too.
And then when you also bring into account protected picks and trades and things like that, and you can't trade back-to-back years picks, but you can trade picks all the way to 2033. It just doesn't. It's a lot to keep up with, and you've got to have a full-time job of somebody to remember what compensation you even have left to trade. It's
if I'm a fucking GM and it's 2025 right now, fuck my 2033 picks. I might not be there in 2033. I'm gonna bank up
there in 2026.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get rid of that shit. How do you even value the 2033 pick?
Right,
8 years from now, which is just insane to me.
That kid is 10 years old.
Yeah. How does that have much value? How are you what is that value out to?
It doesn't. It's usually just something to throw into a trade.
Yeah. So I'd be throwing that shit away all the time. Well, I don't need it.
Yeah, I agree. You want to transition to a little puck? We mentioned last show, we're not puck guys. I'll watch occasionally. I won't know what's happening. I do think the NHL playoffs are absolutely electric. And my timeline last night was full of Canes fans living in Charlotte. I don't like the Canes. They beat the Caps, and I do like the Caps. So fuck the Canes. But I don't want another fucking Florida team to win. I would like whoever will win the Western Conference to win the Stanley Cup. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that series. I don't really care about the Eastern Conference.
Same. Yeah, Eastern, I could care less about. I think Florida's going to end up winning it. They're getting too good right now. And I'm excited. I might go to a game.
You should. Absolutely should.
So I'm probably going to go to a game at least once a series. They're not terribly expensive either. Just go in.
And playoff hockey's
great atmosphere. So I'm going to probably go. I'm excited for that series. I hope the playoffs keep going the way they've been going.
Yeah.
And I would love to see either Dallas win or Edmonton. It's about time Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, gets a Stanley Cup. So you got to kind of work for that as well. So kind of like you said, I'm excited there.
Yeah. I do want to keep watching the Mikko. Is it Mikko or Nico Rantanen?
Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, I want to keep watching. I like that guy. So I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for
well. He's a superstar.
Yeah, one of those two. That's who I want to see win.
Speaking of championships, I did want to touch on it briefly. The Preakness ran over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
What a race! I mean, I'm not sure if you watched it, but the horse basically was completely botched out, fought its way through, and won. And it was journalism. And it pisses me off because journalism came in second in the Derby.
Yeah, but I had journalism in the Derby, but not in the Preakness.
So it's like, well, maybe Sovereignty should have been fucking running in the, in the Preakness. Like, I'm just still pissed off we're not getting a shot at Triple Crown. But it was a great horse race. It was actually like a really entertaining one to watch.
Yeah.
So love seeing that. And I kind of forget, like, I don't know how much I like horse racing. Like, I don't know if I could watch it every single day, but if it was that exciting and I was betting and I could see myself getting really into horse racing, maybe. But then again, I could also, I'd love to follow it for like a couple weeks and see what happens. But I'd also need a ton of money, and I don't have that. So
yeah, I think if there was one more major horse race, that would be good. But I think anything beyond that, I'm good on that. Like, horse racing is fun because the buildup is fun, and then it's 90-second race, and then you're out of there. But yeah, I don't know that I would want to like be following horse racing. It's just
I'd be interested to see like what it would be like. Like if I had more, I'd have to have more of a vesting interest. Like I'd have to own a horse or something. And really have like a true fandom of one horse.
Yeah,
is where I'd have to be at. I think that'd be interesting. See if I had like a true fandom. Because like to your point, there's no way I just want to follow horse racing. But if I had like an ownership stake in some horse, I got to follow it through like 8 or 9 races, I might be a little more interested. But I don't know.
No, I agree. I've got a couple other things, but I only have one other sports thing that we could jump into. Schedule release season happened.
I'm sorry, what was that happened?
Schedule release season happened.
Oh, yes.
Who fucking cares? I think the schedule release is the dumbest thing. I was listening to a Colts podcast this week, and the guy was just going on and on about how pathetic the Colts schedule release is for not asking for permission from Minecraft and how tasteless their joke about Tyreek Hill was. That was funny. I don't like the schedule release itself is dumb. All the schedule release is stupid. Even the Chargers ones. I know people love to jerk off the Chargers social media team. The Colts arresting Dolphin Tyreek Hill was hilarious. I didn't watch much after that because it was the first 15 seconds and schedule release is dumb. I'm just over it. I'm over the NFL is going to do whatever they can to increase revenue in whatever dumb way they can. I get it. Not saying that's a bad thing. Make the money where you can. I don't understand why people care so much about schedule release.
No, like I don't really give a First off, you generally kind of know who you're playing most years anyways. Like
you know exactly who you're playing. It's just what order.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't care when I play a team certain weeks. It doesn't affect at all.
No. And while we're on it, I'm over international games. They were a fun novelty once a year.
Why the fuck do we keep doing them? It's awful for players. It's unfair. It's just stupid. Yeah. It's stupid.
And they're just getting too close to a Super Bowl overseas. And I think we'll see that I think we'll see that in the next 10 years. And
I'm going to say this now. I'm going to boycott that Super Bowl. That's not true. I'm going to watch Super Bowl.
Yeah. But like, imagine like the lead up to the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday is some of the best part of it. Because the game is almost never that good. It's usually not as entertaining as like regular football. They come out kind of defensive. They're feeling each other out. The fun part is like having people over, grilling out, having a party. You can't do that if the game's at 10 o'clock in the morning because it's in fucking England. Doesn't make any sense. And look, they've got us by the balls. Whatever they put it on, I'm gonna watch it. It's football. You only get 20 games a year, 20 weeks a year, I should say. But it's like, dude, stop doing this Europe shit. And like they're going to Brazil. I don't like, at least that's in our time zone, but like, it's ridiculous.
It's the classic if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the NFL is just trying to fix it. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Because now I'm just gonna get mad and I'm gonna have to like it. Like I don't have a choice.
Yeah. They've got me. They've got me by the balls. So I don't know. Did you have anything else on sports? That was
no. I mean, you kind of brought up a good point there. The cooking kind of building up too. I think it's a great time of year where we're kind of getting the summer cooking piece of things as well.
Yeah.
Getting to go out and grill. I know you like to grill out a lot more than me, so I'm excited to hear a little bit, what you're excited for. I, unfortunately, living in an apartment building, it's such a fucking hassle to go out and do that. However, I will say when you go visit friends at like a house, or when you all out like after a long pool day, just firing up the pool grill, getting stuff going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. But I will say this one hot take.
Okay.
I refuse to grill a steak. I refuse to do it. I won't ever do it. It's just not going to taste as good as my steak that I cook indoor on my stovetop. Now, let me, do say this. I'm talking about prime cuts. It's like a New York strip, a filet, a ribeye. Those I'm all cooking indoors. But like a skirt steak, a flank steak, flat iron steak, love grilling those up. Yeah. Definitely different type of animal there. But I'm excited to get outside and just kind of grill and just kind of enjoy nice weather. It's like just kind of being around the grill, drinking a beer as the sun goes down. There's really nothing quite like it either.
Yeah, I will say I tend to agree with you on most steaks. I do make a mean strip on the grill, but I use kind of the similar sear oven process where I'll get one side of the grill smoking hot, sear it off on both sides, and then move it to the non-heat section and just kind of let it bake there, if you will. But I mean, for the most part, because you want to be basting that steak in butter, I agree with you there. We hear a lot about meal prepping as part of a healthier diet, help financially. The only time I can get behind that is like later on a Sunday, crack a beer, go outside and grill up a shitload of chicken breasts and then have that for the rest of the week. I love doing that. I've gotten to break out the smoker a couple times already this year. Did a butt, did some ribs. But my favorite thing to really grill in the summer especially is summer fruit. Last year I experimented with this new recipe I did at the beach where I took a bunch of peaches, pitted them all, drizzled in honey and a little cinnamon and brown sugar, face down on the grill for a little bit, get those grill marks, then a scoop of vanilla ice cream and eat that like a dessert. That is the fuego is de fuego. Grilled peaches are probably the best grilled fruit in my mind. Maybe a grilled pineapple on a cheeseburger if you're feeling Hawaiian or something, but grilling fruits, that's the best part about summer cooking.
See, I've never experienced too much with that myself. I've actually only ever done the grilled pineapple. I think I've had grilled peaches before, but I've never done it myself. Maybe that's something I got to get more into this summer, is trying out different fruits.
Yeah, grilled peaches are one of the best because they caramel really well. They go really well with cinnamon, brown sugar, honey. That combo just works. And then a scoop of ice cream, and you've got yourself a nice little dessert that doesn't feel as unhealthy because you have a fruit there, even though you realize you just smoked that thing with brown sugar. And then put vanilla ice cream on top. But that's a go-to beach thing for me after last year.
Dude, I love that. I'm a big fan. That sounds very exciting.
Give it a try, man. I'm telling you, especially because summer peaches, especially in the Carolinas, people don't realize Georgia likes to call itself the peach state. South Carolina produces more peaches than Georgia by a landslide. And we're a much smaller state. So fuck you, Georgia. But yeah, peaches in the Carolinas, peaches in summer, it doesn't get much better.
I don't think South Carolina is a much smaller state, though, dude.
Than Georgia? Dude, come on.
I'm not a big geography guy, but that just doesn't sound right to me.
I don't even know how to look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some numbers on this one.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Georgia has 57,513 square miles, while South Carolina has 32,000.
Okay. All right. End up with that one.
People don't realize how big Georgia is because there's only 2.5 relevant states. Or cities. There's Atlanta, there's Savannah, and then there's Athens during football season. Other than that, and then South Carolina, not to say they have much more, they're just half the size. South Carolina also has some of the most elite coastline in the entire country.
Arguably the world.
It's fair. I mean, some of those Mediterranean countries, they got.
Yeah, well, that's
or like Croatia. Have you ever seen that picture? It's like Croatia takes up that whole coastline.
I've also been to the Amalfi Coast, so I don't even know why I said that. Like the Amalfi Coast, it's like
yeah. I hear you. I mean, and then
California got nothing like that.
No. And California obviously has the all coastline, but
you got a bunch of hobos living on the California coastline now, so that kind of deteriorates from it a little bit.
They've got a beachfront view, and I don't. So who's really wrong here? Yeah, summer fruits exciting. speaking of lists, I saw this list the other day. I'm going to share my screen. I saw this list and it made me think of you because the U.S. News, usnews.com, they are fans of the Nobody Asked show. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. Imagine my surprise when I saw this come across the feed. The U.S. News, a semi-reputable news station, ranked state. And you'll be happy to know they for whatever reason they don't show the middle ones. They show the top 10 and the bottom 10. Let's go down to this list. We don't have to read through all this. Top 10 best states. Utah, don't agree with, but Utah's got some good shit. If you take the Mormons away, sorry Mormons, but if you take them away, great skiing, cool cities. Other than that, the list is pretty bad. Nebraska, terrible. Minnesota's good. I hate the state of Florida.
Minnesota's too cold to be that high.
Well,
Idaho, get out of here.
New Hampshire is like I think the most crystal meth addicts in the entire country. South Dakota's fine. I mean, it's like Mount Rushmore is kind of cool, but yeah, it's pretty bad. The reason it made me think of you though is the bottom. The bottom is pretty good. They did mention Ohio is one of the worst. I don't see them on this part of the list. But
that's the biggest problem. Ohio should be 50, and there should be a distant 49. So that's gonna be the bigger issue here. But
but maybe on another show one day during the summer, we'll go through and tier our states. We've done this in the past, but we'll go through and tier our states, see what states we can piss off and what states we'll get some new listeners from. But Louisiana is a pretty shitty state. It's mostly underwater. The food's good, but it's mostly underwater. And yeah, outside of like LSU and Mardi Gras, there's not really anything going on.
Yeah, and New Orleans, it's like we can go into it just like Illinois and Chicago. Without that, really, what else do you have?
Yeah. I think we might need to do
that's not a great thing.
We might need to do a whole state list at some point this summer. The other thing I wanted to show you that I saw this week, and this is something that people just have always talked about, but it looks like we've got a prototype. The world's first mass-produced flying car prototype. You will not get me in one of those fucking things. No shot.
That doesn't look safe at all.
No. It looks like a botched transformer.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that looks like we're trying to fix two things at once with the same result.
Yeah. You know what's working for me right now? Cars. You know what else is working for me right now?
Planes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't need it.
I'll do them separately. That's fine. It's okay if it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. But look, like the wheels look weird. The wings fold up. Here's what I was thinking about though. Like, what is if cars can start flying, does the driving test get much more stringent? I hope so. Like, you could just take off and be flying. You know how many low-hanging buildings are going to just get decapitated?
Well, here's another thing. How does the FAA control that? There's like, can you get pulled over in the sky? Like you have to land to get pulled over? Like, how does that work? Everybody's just flying. Do we have highways anymore? Like, this leads to all sorts of issues.
Yeah, we do put this pod on YouTube, so I don't want to click this video because I think that would hit YouTube copyright laws or something. But maybe we'll watch this another day. But like, if you're drinking and driving, and you see the come up behind you, do you just take off and like hope they don't have a flying car? And then now you're flying drunk? Do they have like do they have air control like they do state patrol? Do they have air control? Like this just whatever this is seems like a bad idea created by people with too much money and too much time.
Yeah, that needs way too many regulate. I don't want to live in a world where that's going on. It just seems too dangerous. I'm going to get myself in trouble somehow involved with this. I mean, they already have those planes that detect like if you're speeding on the highway. I've heard of those. Dude, are those going to start following you now when you take off? It's like, oh, no, we got them.
Dude,
how do they control speed limits?
Is
there an air speed limit?
There's too many questions. We'll dive into this and get a little bit more insight on next show. Again, I don't want to click on this because I don't know what YouTube's rules are, and we do want to post the show. But speaking of those speed limit enforced by aircraft, I was driving through Georgia one time, and I saw a sign that said speed limit monitored by sniper.
Yeah, I don't like that. Nope. Don't like that one bit, dude. Just
Do I
sit there
believe?
like
Do I
I'm pulling
believe that?
over. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope.
Do I believe that? No. Was I speeding? No. Stop
No.
speeding. Incredibly effective sign.
Yeah, like what's it gonna do? Just take out my wheel? Like, yo, you gotta slow down, dude.
Oh, they just take out
Way
your
too
wheel and
bad.
like Peaky Blinders where they carve the guy's name in the bullet before they kill him. You pull the bullet out of your tire and it just says slow down.
Oh
Oh my
god.
God. But
Or
like
the bullet's like your ticket's wrapped around the bullet. You have to sign it. It's like
yeah, that'd be
pull it out
great.
of your wheel.
That'd be great. And then the tow truck driver comes to get you. He's like, "Oh yeah, the sniper they're the fourth one this week." tow truck profits skyrocket across rural Georgia.
Well, next thing we know, the tow truck driver is gonna be driving one of those flying cars because he's gonna get all the money from the people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Geez.
Yeah, gosh. Well, I don't think I had too much. I know we have a draft that I'm pretty excited about this draft tonight. I got to grab a pen because I see what I've marked off. But before we get to our draft, did you have anything? I had one last thing, something that's really
I had one small thing, and it's it's kind of back to the states thing. Being a Texas, I guess, native at this point. It's called the Big Texan Challenge. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this, but it's a 72-ounce steak challenge in Amarillo, Texas.
Or not? You froze for a second. Big Texas what?
The Big Texan Steak Challenge. So it's a 72-ounce steak challenge that you have to eat in like one sitting at a place in Amarillo, Texas. I'm like,
Amarillo?
I've probably eaten a 2-pound steak maybe once in my life. Maybe. That's over like a 4-pound steak. I just don't know if I have that in me.
Is it a bone in?
I don't know. It does. No, it's not bone in. So it's 72 ounces of meat.
Dude, yeah, I don't know.
Like just the chewing alone from that's going to be a nightmare.
What kind of steak is it? I mean, it's got to be like a porterhouse, right?
No, it's like I don't even know.
Let's see. Big Texan Steak Ranch. Show me the 72-ounce steak. Let's
Is
see.
it top sirloin steak?
Yeah, it's Amarillo. I don't know how I know that. Oh, it looks like it's 4 steaks.
No, just fold it open. It's 4.5 pounds.
Oh. Wow. These steaks look incredible though. I mean, just the normal size ones. Yeah, dude. I mean, 72 ounces. I think the biggest steak I've ever eaten was a 24-ounce steak, and I felt like shit after that.
Yeah, like it just seems like a lot of steak. I think if I was maybe really hungry, like I think if I I don't know. I'm not even gonna say I could. I don't think I could do it. Like that just seems like a lot. And it's kind of one of those cool things, just like to say I tried it. But like if I'm gonna try it, like I can't only eat like a quarter of it. Like I gotta get close at least somewhat, or I just wouldn't be able to live with myself.
What do you get? I'm curious now. 72-ounce steak. Entire meal must be completed in 1 hour. Before the time starts, you can cut the steak, but once you take a bite, then the time starts. Once you've stood up, you can't. Once you start, you can't get up. If anyone assists you, yeah, you don't have to eat the fat, but we will judge this. No, if you don't eat the fat on the steak, you're out of here. If you throw up, you lose. It says in parentheses, please use the container provided as necessary. So they know you might throw up, and they give you something to throw up in just in case.
Yeah.
If you do not win the steak challenge, you can take the leftovers with you. No shit. And if you fail, full $72. $72 for a 72-ounce steak isn't a bad deal, though.
No.
Yeah, dude, I don't. The man in me wants to say, yeah, no problem, but
it's definitely not no problem.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, like a lot of these food challenges, they're carb heavy, Or like the old Hooters, all you can eat wings and fries. They get you by giving you more fries each time you get more wings, hoping to fill up on that. But like, I don't know that. Like I've eaten 72 wings once, and that about killed me. And that's not the same amount as that's. I don't think each wing is an ounce. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not a math guy, but yeah, dude. I don't know if I could do this.
No, like it. Even if I could say I could do it, like I've eaten some big meals, but like I'd have to be prepared. Like I'd have to go super hungry, like worked out. Like I'd have to be like there'd have to be some prep involved for that for me.
Yeah.
Even then, I'm not sure I'm doing it. Like maybe. Like
Yeah,
it'd have to be that day. Like
Yeah.
I'd have to be literally just things would have to align for me to even consider being able to do it.
I would have to have fasted for a couple days. I would have to be high. Like even then, dude, I don't know. That's a
lot of meat.
That's
just
a lot
the
of meat.
chewing in your jaw.
Yeah.
That's like my jaw would be exhausted.
Yeah, and you've got to time it out because if you only have an hour, but if you start too fast, you're gonna get too full. You got to time out. It's got to be scientific the way you do it.
Well, dude, plus you have to do a shrimp cocktail, a baked potato, a salad, and a roll.
Oh, dude, no shot. Yeah, nope.
Dude, the baked potato is what would kill me.
Yeah, and dude, if I'm that full and then you ask me to put another roll in me, no.
Oh, dude, the roll. Could you imagine the roll being the last thing you have to get down? Oh, no. That'd be miserable.
Let's see. 72-ounce steak challenge. 11% of the people that do it have won. There's been just under 100,000 attempts and just under 10,500 champions. Goes all the way back to the 60s.
I kind of just like to go get a steak at that place. That'd probably be pretty fun.
Too, yeah. The steaks look really good.
Granted, in Amarillo, Texas. I don't really know if there's a whole lot going on in Amarillo, Texas, but
Jason Aldean sang a song about it. That's about all I know about Amarillo.
George Strait sings just about every other song about Amarillo, I feel like.
Fair enough. Yeah. I hope that it's a good steak, but
well, it's a top sirloin steak. So the steak itself isn't gonna be the best cut, but like it's probably still pretty flavorful. It's definitely got to be well flavored.
If we went though, I hope that the steaks are just good in general.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought you were gonna say the big Texas cinnamon roll, the thing Scott Van Pelt eats after every Masters.
No, but it'd be interesting. I also wonder, you think I consider what's the best way to cook a steak like that? Like I'm ordering it medium rare, but that might not be the best for the challenge.
Yeah.
I couldn't not order it medium rare, but it might be like a strategy where like medium makes more sense. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I feel like the more you cook a steak, the tougher it is to chew to your chewing point.
Yeah.
So maybe that takes it away a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I've got one more thing before we get into our draft. It's something that's been pissing me off since last week.
All right, let's hear it.
I was watching a Serie A soccer game, which is the top league in Italian soccer. Mm-hmm. There's this team called Bologna from the same region that Bologna's from, I assume. The Italian soccer manager of Bologna, his name is Vincenzo Italiano. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, that is the most incredible name for an Italian guy coaching an Italian team. Until I found out that this motherfucker is born in Germany. And that has pissed me off for 10 straight days. His name is Vincenzo Italiano, and he's not Italian.
He's a fraud.
He's the biggest fraud. The biggest fraud maybe since Helen Keller. Well, no, that's too far. But
yeah, let's take a step back here. Let's not go nuts.
Imagine my surprise, and I'm like, this is maybe the coolest guy ever. Where was he born? And then it just says Karlsruhe, Germany.
Well, if you want to get even more in depth, if you think about it now, he probably got there because his family was fighting for the Nazis in World War II. The Italians are going to help out.
Maybe. In 1977, his parents probably born in, that math. That math.
Yeah. Maybe his grandparents, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why else would he be in Germany?
But Vincenzo, just be Italian.
That's a sick name.
It is a sick name. But it's so much, it feels like stolen valor. It feels like the guy at the airport wearing the combat gear that he just plays paintball on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, maybe his name should have been like Friedrich or something like that, or like Hans.
Friedrich Italiano.
Yeah. like maybe show a little bit of homage to where you actually live, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Your last name has your heritage covered. Promise you that.
At least I'm looking now. At least he also realizes this is bullshit, and he renounced his German citizenship and is now Italian. He's an Italian citizen. So at least he realizes it was bullshit too.
Well, I mean, I would give him my German citizenship pretty quickly to be an Italian citizen.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't blame the guy.
No, definitely not. But yeah, that guy's been pissing me off. I meant to bring him up last week, and I just like, fuck you, Vincenzo.
I'm gonna have to look at what this guy looks like because I feel like he's just a character.
Yeah. He looked Italian until I found out he was German, and I was like, wait, I can kind of see you being German now. Now that we're looking at it.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's got that dull face most Germans have.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. The very same test. All right, you want to get into this draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
Drafting. All right, so this draft, we decided to take a little twist from what we've done in the past, and we're ranking cartoon dogs. They can be from TV shows or movies, but they have to be cartoons. So like an Air Bud, I know he's not a real dog, doesn't count, not animated. That was really the only stipulation. So I believe I picked last week if I wanted to go first or second. So I'll extend that same honor to you. I do think that there's one that sticks out for me at least, but I do think that there's an advantage on both sides because there's a lot of good dogs here.
Oh, I'm taking the first overall pick for sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Brian Griffin.
Wow. Okay. Let me.
Is that who you were thinking of?
No.
Interesting. Okay, now I'm interested to see.
He was on my list.
Okay, I'm interested to see who you go with now. Then
Let me make sure these are written down. He was on my list, but you could have gotten him later for sure. For my first pick, I'm going Scooby-Doo.
Okay, he's on my list as well, but okay. I was never a huge Scooby-Doo fan. That's why.
Fair. That's fair. My second pick, I'm going with Max from How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay,
that
on
is
my list as well.
A real ride or die homie.
Okay, you like the pick. I considered him as like a 5th round pick for me, so I'm surprised you went there early.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. He's the epitome of a ride or die homie. When you know your homie's wrong and you got his back anyways, that's my guy.
I love that. I love the description you just gave for Max. That kind of upped his points. Now I'm a little mad I didn't get him.
Yeah,
I never looked at it that way.
Ain't nothing wrong with my homie. He just hates Christmas.
which I think of all things you're gonna ride your homies for, that might be the worst.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I think you just kind of got to have this. I'm gonna go with Pluto. I love Pluto.
He was on my list. I was between him and Max. I wish I would have gone him there. Gosh.
And then I just loved him so much as a kid growing up. I don't know if I can leave him off the list. Clifford, the big red dog.
Yeah.
I love and I want to have a big baller like Clifford on my team.
Yeah, no. He's gonna be great down low in the paint. Clifford's a great pick.
Can you get you places you probably shouldn't be going? Love that.
Yeah, I hear you. Man.
There's a lot of good picks.
There's a lot of great dogs. There's a lot of great dogs.
Me out this, dude, there can't be that many. I came up with a good 15 or so pretty easily.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great honorable mentions. Oh man, I think my next pick is gonna be Balto. Balto crossed all of Alaska. He brought the medicine to the needy kids. There is a little bit of slander on Balto's name that he wasn't actually the one who did it. That may or may not be true. Don't care. He's a wolf dog. Great movie. So yeah, I'm gonna go Balto here. Oh man, I only have 2 more picks. This is tough. And I'm gonna take Doug from Up. Dog.
Great pick. Great pick.
He turned on his homies for that crazy looking bird. He just loves ball, loves being with the homies. I'm gonna go Doug.
That's a great pick.
All right, your last 2.
All right. I'm going to go with I'm going to take Blue from Blue's Clues.
Okay.
And then I'm going to close it out with a little bit of unconventional pick here. I'm going to take the Slinky Dog from Toy Story.
Wow. Not on my list. I'm mad he's not on my list. Great pick. Great pick. Really, really helpful in a lot of those situations where you got to stretch. He kind of was the basis for what Mr. Fantastic became. He laid the groundwork.
That's a little bit of comical relief sometimes too. He's exactly what you need him to be.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Oh man.
All right, now, who are you closing out with?
I've got 3 I really, really like. I've got 3 I love a lot. I think I'm gonna go with Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. He's a rough around the edges. He marries up. He goes on a sick expedition. Now he's living a cushy life, hanging out. Cool dog. He invented the spaghetti trick to get a little action.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Question: have you ever pulled a spaghetti trick in real life?
No. I just kind of kiss normally, I think. No slurping in my game. But yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in Tramp, and it breaks my heart some of the people I left on the board. So year 5, you've got Brian Griffin, Pluto, which was an exceptional pick. I wish I had Pluto on my team. Clifford, Blue, and Slinky Dog, which is also just phenomenal. The value there in round 5 is incredible.
I felt like that was going to slip through the cracks. I was a little nervous about that one.
I went with Scooby Doo, Max from the Grinch, Balto, Doug, and Tramp. What honorable mentions did you have?
I love the Doug pick. By the way, just love Doug. So here's one. I think you have to announce one of probably the most popular dogs of all time is Snoopy.
Yeah,
I don't personally like Snoopy really.
He wasn't on my list. I did think about him. He just doesn't. He's just kind of a vibes guy. He doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah. Here's another one on a similar train is a Slinky Dog is Goddard from Jimmy Neutron.
Wow, that's a good one. But I
feel like I like Slinky Dog more.
Yeah.
And then I had Goofy. I threw Goofy in there.
Yeah. I liked Goofy, but I didn't want Goofy without Pluto. I wanted the set.
Yeah. And I wanted a little diversity in my team. And the last one I had is Cooper from Fox and the Hound. But problem is with Cooper, he kind of goes back on his boy a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was my guy. I have a few others, but those are the big names I left off.
Yeah. The one that I was back and forth with with Tramp as my last pick. And the only reason I took Tramp is because his lifestyle is more of what I want to be around, marrying up and all that. Courage the Cowardly Dog gets forgotten about in history. People call him cowardly, and he's consistently facing the scariest things of all time. If I'm having a dog to hang out with, I think I'd rather have Tramp than Courage. Bad things seem to follow Courage around. I also had Pongo from 101 Dalmatians.
I had him as well. Just
too many kids.
Don't feel like he's involved that much. There's just so many. There's too many dogs.
Yeah, and you have to be British. I'm out.
Yeah.
And the last one I had, I thought it might be a little bit out of left field, was Bolt.
I wrote Bolt as well.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was like, I haven't seen enough of Bolt in recent history.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I pick Bolt, I got to rewatch it, and I didn't have time to rewatch it between then and now. So
I liked Bolt. Bolt was actually one of the first ones I had written down, and then as I got through my list, I was like, man, there's a lot of good dogs here.
Oh, one more I did realize I missed is just Spike from Rugrats, but I was a huge Rugrats fan.
Oh yeah, Rugrats is good. But I remember more Reptar. Spike's he's not big enough in that for me.
Exactly. I just remember the name Spike.
Yeah.
But I think good solid list, and man, there's a lot of cartoon dogs for sure.
A ton of cartoon dogs. Good episode. I don't. Do you have anything else before we hop off here for another week?
Very solid. I don't have anything else. It was, great doing this, and we'll, like we said, kind of come back with some similar stuff next week. Since not a ton of sports stuff going on, we'll kind of keep it a little bit open, keep the banter going. But appreciate everyone taking the time.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.